Hello and welcome to Casual League Week 3, Day 3, as well as at the end of the day, some of our Week 4 matches as well. I'm Baby, but you can call me Light, and I'm joined by Ryder as my play-by-play for today.
Hi.
We've got some great games for you today. We're going to start off today with Team Tempest versus Players Anonymous up in our Ionian division, and it looks like it'll be an exciting matchup.
I'm super hyped about this matchup here, Hunter. From the Ionian, you know these two teams are high in elo and high in experience into this game, and I am super excited to see what they're going to bring in these next two matches.
Absolutely. Now, we'll be getting the game really shortly. Is there anything you want to say beforehand?
I'm just today is going to be a fun day. It is going to be a little bit of two different weeks into one, so there's going to be a lot of interesting dynamics that we might see from week 3 into week 4 here because the patch changes do occur. So we're going from 10.9 to 10.10, which could potentially even change up the picks that we might see as well.
Absolutely. And we'll touch on that more when we get to that point. It'll be after our second match of the day when we change over from 10.9 to 10.10 for the VODs that we were watching. Now, without further ado, let's get in the game. Now, starting off this game between Team Tempest and the Players Anonymous, we have in the top lane, Alawi versus Malphite. I imagine, as many Malphite lanes go, this is going to be a bit of a slow roll for the Rock here.
I don't want to cause too much of commotion in this game, but I am a huge Rock fanboy. What can I say? Rock is definitely one of my favorite champions to play in League of Legends, just because of his abilities, mainly the R button.
Absolutely. We do see the Malphite does have Grasp, so probably just looking to tank out this lane, dodge as many Alawi Qs as possible, and if that's achieved, then not much should happen in this lane, mostly just tanking it out. In the jungle, we see Set versus Amumu. Set should have a pretty reasonable 1v1 advantage, and maybe even an early ganking advantage if you can get some flanks off or get an early advantage. In the mid lane, we see Fizz versus Lux. This is an extremely volatile lane, as all assassin lanes are, but especially when you see Fizz versus one of these squishy mages. Lux did take Barrier, because Exhaust can be pretty notoriously difficult to hit Fizz with because of Playful Trickster. It should be interesting. Lux will have the clear farm and poke advantage, but she's always vulnerable to getting one-shot by the Fizz, especially post-6 or post-first item. In the bot lane, we see Grasp and MF versus Poke Varus. I'm not familiar with Grasp MF. This might be an attempt to not die to the Assassins late game, the Assassins being Malphite somehow, as well as the Fizz, and maybe even a Set, depending on build. Should be looking to get a lot tankier, maybe even going for an early Phantom Dancer and or Bloodthirster, just to survive the burst damage. Versus the bot lane with the Poke Varus and the Yuumi. So Poke Varus will scale really well in the mid game. Yuumi's going to scale really hard in the mid and late game as well. We already see some trading coming out mid though, so Ryder, take me with this.
Yeah, so we do see a nice trade here in mid lane. Yeah, Fizz hitting the level 2 early, going in for the Playful Trickster, and trying to just get that extra damage down on Lux. The only downside of this trade here is that he did take that tower shot. It's going to be interesting to see how these two are going to collide, but we might see an interesting new occurrence if either Set or Amumu comes to gank the Fizz.
Yeah, of course. So, moving into the mid games for these teams, I think we're going to really be looking for big AoE team fights coming out of the side of Team Tempest.
Oh, here comes Amumu, almost landing his Q onto Fizz there. Fizz is just out of range. He's hugging the bottom side, closer to where his Set is actually pathing, which is really smart by him. But we're actually seeing another re-engage from Amumu. If we look again, he isn't quite there to really get the fish, but the fish does go back in. And Amumu's gonna get a nice first blood here, going in with his W, having his E, proccing that, and just really shutting down the Fizz and punishing him for engaging onto the Amumu here.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch it, but I wonder if the Fizz ran out of mana there and couldn't Playful Trickster away. It looked like he was just trying to punish the Amumu for harassing him in lane before he got his back off. But regardless there, First Blood does go over to Amumu, and that's a really big setback for the Fizz in this middle lane. Not being able to get all this farm as he does make it back to lane now, but missing that farm, missing that experience, being pushed off by the Amumu there is really going to set him behind on his items and his level 6 power spike.
Yeah, we do see a Ocean Drake gonna be spawning, and we have a lot more control on the side of Players Anonymous going around trying to get that objective, but we do see that Team Tempest is actually going to reassess the situation and ward out the set so he doesn't try and sneak an early dragon on them.
Yeah, exactly. And we see Set going for what looks to be pretty much just a full clear. Keeping up with the Amumu though, even though the Amumu's got much better AoE and went for a gank, the Amumu's still even in CS going to be picking up the little bit of the one camp disadvantage that he's missing right now. Set has nothing to farm, but he is looking bot side, seeing if he can make a gank happen. We see around the map, Alawi's generated a little bit of a CS advantage in the top lane, mostly thanks to her good use of E, hitting it on the Malphite, really chunking him out, taking some Demolish procs on the turret top lane. Malphite's gonna have just a really hard time in general hurting the
That's a nice
Alawi.
E from Alawi, really punishing the Malphite. I'm not sure if Malphite wants to take that engage there. He is going to just stay back. He's still pretty tanky. I think he's actually maxing W in this lane here, so he's gonna have that overall. Whoa, ho, ho, ho. Snipe from downtown. Varus is actually gonna take out a Mumu bot lane. So there was a gank, and the Mumu was trying to just punish, weed out the Varus, but Varus got a nice couple auto attacks off, proccing his passive, and then landing a really nice Q down on Amumu. And we see another re-engage. Thresh does have to flash away from here. Varus is looking pretty strong right now, and getting that kill does make this lane a little bit easier for him with that a little bit of extra gold.
Yeah, and that Amumu kill there brought to you by Blighted Quiver stacks. The Varus having, I think, 3 stacks of his passive on the Amumu and proccing the active part of Blighted Quiver on his Q there, getting massive execute damage off. Then the Thresh looking to trade onto the Yuumi, perhaps a bit of frustration looking at a cat off of its master. But does not respect the Varus' ability to trade back, and that's one of the strongest parts of Varus in these lane phases is he has such heavy trading power, and then if you don't respect his damage, he can just execute you from 30% HP like we saw to Amumu.
And Amumu has been really aggressive, playing these nice early ganks onto his side lanes, onto bot and mid lane there. And it's been really forcing his team to push up ahead and possibly even prep for a future dragon, which I do like a lot in junglers. Hunter, can you talk about a little bit of jungling and jungle aggression, how it can change the lane matchup?
Yeah, absolutely. So as a laner, as many of us, I'm sure, realize, a lot of your wave manipulation is dictated, especially mid lane, by your jungler matchup. And when you play a champion like Amumu, something who's traditionally farmed to 6...
Oh, I'm sorry to hold you up here, Hunter. Malphite 6 and Alawi 6, and they're relatively close. We do see Set roaming up onto Alawi. Here comes the Alawi ultimate going down onto the Rock himself. The Rock goes down. Set is re-engaging on Alawi. Alawi's gonna possibly pick up a double kill here.
I don't think you want this.
Oh no! Double kill Alawi! What a performance. Really punishing the jungler for coming up, getting that early advantage onto Malphite, making him not able to participate in this game.
Yeah, and that's one of the worries about ganking Alawi. We've all seen it in solo queue before, but if you just gank her when she's 6 and she hits her test of spirit on you, out come the tentacles, and that gank is just impossible to execute at that point in time.
Yeah,
we did see in the mid lane too.
It's gonna be hard for Rock.
Yeah, Rock is going to have a hard time in this lane. It's going to be real difficult to cope with the 2-0 Alawi now. We did see in the mid lane, the Fizz did all in the Lux, burning his Flash, burning his Ignite onto the Lux, forcing her to trade back with her Barrier and Flash of her own. Lux does survive. You also saw there that I think she has Nullifying Orb too, just to survive the burst from Fizz, not even able to take Mana Flow Band in this really tricky lane mid lane.
Yeah, we do see Shelly and Dragon both coming up. This is an Ocean Drake, and with it being the level 1 Ocean Drake, it's actually really helpful for both teams, and I can see it going to be highly contested.
Yeah, some extra, I'll call it poke resistance coming out from the early Ocean Dragon, just giving you an extra bit of regen on your HP, and a little bit of mana back as well. It's always nice. That does mean, however, that we won't be seeing an Ocean Rip, which means that the best dragon in the game is already gone for soul objectives. That might factor into these teams' decision-making a little bit. As far as game plans going to the rest of this game, you really want to see Team Tempest looking for these 4-1 split pushes or team fights, where they have this massive Amumu ult, MF ult, Lux ult combo, and Thresh is there to help facilitate picks and keep his carries safe. Whereas from the side of Players Anonymous, we see more big wombo combos, but certainly more focused on poking out beforehand with Varus or finding a flank on Fizz before they start these fights.
We do see Set actually coming in and re-engaging onto Amumu. Ulti coming in from Varus. Massive ulti from MF. Set is going to be ulting over Amumu to get to the Misfortune, to get to the Thresh. Massive Lux ult coming inbound as well. Alawi did TP down. She is here for this fight. She wants more. Are they going to be able to pick up the Varus? They do pick up the Varus with a nice Q there. A beautiful ultimate from Alawi. Picks up another double kill. This Alawi is massive.
Yeah, this Alawi already 4-0 in this game. Looking really, really strong. It's going to be really, really annoying to side lane against. If there's one boon for the side of Players Anonymous, it's that Alawi is incredibly easy to kite, and it should be fairly difficult for her to get into team fights without her finding a flank or without her just pushing down a side lane to start it off.
It was, yeah, that was definitely a very interesting, very fun fight. And with the TP from Alawi, really changed a massive tide, and they were able to pick up a couple extra kills because typically you'd see top laners, they'll go from their laning phase directly to an early back to try and pick up a nice couple items, and then go right back into lane, try and pressure, try and get those turret plates. But this time, Alawi holds her TP, saves it for a massive bot fight, and they do see whoa, there's another engage here. Thresh has a nice combo with his Q into E, and a massive damage from Misfortune, obviously. She does have a really high DPS, and does chunk down Varus a lot here. But back to the TP there, she does save it, and it was great communication on the side of Team Tempest there, knowing that they're gonna try and look for a bot fight, and they're saying, hey, top laner, save your TP because something's about to go down.
Yeah, exactly. And the Thresh there, just after that play, there flashes in on the Varus, ends up trading flashes with the Varus, chunking him out really hard, and we see MFQs continue to chunk this Varus out really hard. Trading flashes with the Varus, he should remain healthy thanks to the Yuumi on his butt.
Nice. His ultimate coming down. Here comes Set into a huge ultimate. They are going to try and pick her off here. They do get the Ignite off, and Fizz does get the kill onto Lux. This will help a lot for the Fizz going back in, punishing down the Lux with already a nice CS advantage.
Yeah, and this Fizz will be coming back to lane with Proto Belt and Stopwatch up as well, and it's just going to be so hard for the Lux to stay safe. With Barrier down and with mutual flashes coming up, she can't even outplay the Fizz. It's going to be really, really annoying, and I think she's going to probably have to start wave clearing just with ultis to stay safe. Fizz just doesn't care about turrets, as we see there, and Amumu comes in trying to protect his turrets, trying to get the Rift Herald down. But the Fizz doesn't care. He kills him under turret with a little bit of help from his Set, and that's another kill to the Fizz, and even more gold going into his pockets. He might even come back with Sork boots at this point.
Yeah, you see a massive burst from Fizz there. going in and then just playful trickstering out. So Set does take aggro, which is good for Set in that situation because when he gets that maximum passive stack there, he's just going to press W and it's going to hit like a truck if you're in the way.
Yeah, and we see really importantly here, the side of Players Anonymous is very focused around this early penetration. Fizz is going to be pretty focused around base damage and penetration, as is this Varus. And that's going to be the key point for Team Tempest to survive these first mages and the Varus. It's just to build raw resistances and be able to not take true damage anymore. But it's going to be really hard for certain champions on their team to do it. It's always really hard for AD carries to build a substantial amount of armor, especially when you're dealing with things like Poke Varus. And then trying to deal with this Fizz too means the MF maybe they want a Mom Mortius. But is that even going to be enough?
They're going to try it again. They're going in onto Alawi here. They're going to keep fighting her. I believe she does have her ultimate, though. She might just crack it down and try and live here. No, she's going to flash away. They do get the flash over the wall and shut down onto Alawi. That will be going over to the hands of Set. That is pretty nice to see Set get that kill there so he can really apply more damage, more pressure across the map. And we do see another fight here. We do have a fish in the background. They're going to keep engaging on to a Mumu. And that's going to be a quick pickup on the side of Players Anonymous. They're going to be picking up Lux here as well. Fizz is in danger. Lux does hit a nice proc with her passive and an auto attack onto Fizz, just blowing him up and getting a kill off of him before she falls to the Malphite Set and Fizz herself.
Yeah, it's a great play by Lux there to get the kill back, but in the meantime, we missed it. But MF fell bot lane to what I can imagine is a Varus Yuumi ult combo. And that's going to be a problem for her too. They were going even in farm, but now with this Varus having 3 kills, he's snowballing his lethality items. And as was mentioned before, it's going to be so hard for these guys to build armor to be able to survive this poke Varus. And they're really just going to have to wait for their base stats to compensate. Their base armor scalings and their base HP just scaling up over this game to try and not die to this Varus.
We do see Fizz and Set going into Alawi here. She is going to proc her ultimate, strike it down. Here comes a Mumu, but it's not quite, he's not quite there to get the Alawi to help her out, press R, but that overall burst of damage from Fizz is massive. A beautiful Q from a Mumu there. Max range Q, might I add. And just landing it down onto Fizz there. He does have Lux with him as well. This is going to be a nice fight here. They do see Cloud Drake coming up soon. And you know what that means, Hunter. Not another cloud in the sky. It's not a cloud rift. It's not a cloud soul.
Which is awesome for us, of course.
Ooh, we do see quick reaction time. Flash going in onto Varus there, trying to land that Q, trying to land that stun, and Varus immediately flashing away. Fizz ulting over the wall, Varus ulting over the wall, landing it on Lux. A nice Yuumi ultimate down onto Lux as well. Fizz does pick up the kill. They are looking for more. There is a Rock here. He might be looking for a nice engage for his team so they can just burst down anything that they see, really. But Alawi's here to back it up. She's really tanky. She's really far ahead. And you really don't want her in a place where she can be ulting multiple players of the enemy team. Here goes Thresh onto Malphite, hitting a nice Q on him. Set is going on to a Mumu, is going on to MF. This Set is punchy, taking the double kill, 1-2 combo. Here's the Rock, he's ulting in, Alawi's ulting in. That heal is too massive. She is huge. Double kill Alawi, triple kill Alawi. She wants more. She might be going for Varus. She does land the E onto Varus. Varus is out of there. Varus wants no more. He's just going to be running to his tower. But Thresh lands the Q. Beautiful Q. Another shutdown. That's a Quadra. Is it going to be a Penta? Unofficial Penta.
Unofficial Penta coming out for the Alawi.
Unofficial Penta there. Beautiful play by Team Tempest.
Yeah, and just excellent play coming out of this Alawi, and disrespect coming out of the side of Players Anonymous, walking into the Alawi ult because they got baited in, going for the carries. They forgot the carries in the top lane this game. That MF isn't doing the damage, it's all this Alawi this game. Just pretty much throwing her face at them 1v5. and just picks them up. And this is the price of giving that early double kill over to the Alawi. Without that early double kill, without that Sterix gauge, that extra gold, she dies in that fight. They win that fight 5 for 1, 5 for 2, something like that. They take this dragon for free, but instead now the Alawi 9 and 2. Unofficial pentakill on the fight. Dragon picked up 2 more dragons. We're on the infernal we're on the infernal rift. Looking towards even more damage stacking on this Alawi. She's building resistances so she's not going to get blown up by the Fizz, and after that she's probably going to build some armor so she doesn't get blown up by the Varus. And she's just going to be unstoppable.
You know what? That should have been an official pentakill, Hunter. Riot can fight me. Those kills were close enough.
Yeah, I agree to that. As was said earlier, there is one saving grace for the Fed Alawi.
Ooh, nice Thresh hook into a Q, a Mumu Q. Thresh is going to be putting down his ultimate. Alawi is going to be helping out her buddy and taking out Set as well. That is another kill. And she is 10 and 2. This is her show. She is really running the course of this game and has been a monster in doing so. Another Q onto a Mumu, into a beautiful Thresh hook, into an Amumu ultimate, and they do take out the Amumu, but Yumi is ulting in the background, taking out the fish as in for the response.
Yeah, and that's just going to be it. They're going to have to... Fizz is going to need to actually hit some more of these ultis. Some of them have been really going quite wide thus far this game, and it's really hampering his team's ability to engage with him missing some of his damage. Looking at the engage too, right? They have super good engage between the Malphite. But
we go again. Here comes this set. There is the rock. He's going in with the rock ultimate. Alawi has ultimate up though. She could possibly. She is massive. She might be looking just strictly for a double kill. Massive amount of damage. She goes in. She procs and kills the Malphite. Kills the set. Solo. Here comes the enemy team. Can they take down the Titan? They do.
Yeah, and that's just it, right? You can't send people who are melees into an Alawi at this point. She's 12 and 3. She's working on... She's almost certainly going to complete... Yeah, she's got 2k gold in inventory. She's done with the Spirit Visage. Once she buys it, she's buying more items after this. She's 3.5 items plus boots. You can't fight this Alawi. You have no damage between your top side. And it's just... It's too much. You have to stop going there. You have to just let her take turrets in these side lanes, and you have to find fights on the rest of the map with your massive amounts of engage. You can win these fights 4 versus 5. Hell, like you can win them 5 versus 5 if the Alawi's late on the TP because you have so much burst damage. It'll be a 1 versus 5 at that point in time, and you can just run away from her.
And in the middle of all this, you see on the side of Team Tempest, they knew everyone was topside and really got a nice advantage and securing a lot more wards by the dragon. It is going to be coming up in another minute and 20 seconds. Hunter, take it away with here. Tell me about what we're going to see in this next team fight and how you want both teams to be playing it.
Well, absolutely. It's just that. It depends on where the Alawi is at the start of the team fight. If she's starting the team fight in a side lane, not grouped with her team, she needs to look for the TP flank if they want to win the team fight. Or they can just sacrifice the dragon and take the team fight loss, and that's not a huge issue if the Alawi is going to be able to take an inhib off of it or something similar to that. But if the Alawi is grouped up with her team, it's going to be super, super difficult for players anonymous to get engages going into these fights. It's going to be really, really obnoxious because they can't walk into the Alawi, and when they do walk into Alawi, they will die. Thankfully, Varus should be safe from this, but he's the only really ranged champion in his team because you can't really count the Yumi as a ranged champion. And that's it. Alawi's going to be able to kill everyone else. She's going to be able to kill Fizz, Set, and Malphite at the same time with very little effort, honestly, coming in from her side. And you're going to have to find a way to dodge that. If she just stands on her carries, I don't know what they can do.
Dragon is spawning. We do see both teams posturing, looking at each other menacingly. What's gonna happen next? We do see Set. Yumi is sitting on to Set there, waiting for a nice engage so she can land an ultimate onto the backlines, hopefully, and really securing them down. There's Varus. He's in the front. He does land a nice ultimate onto Thresh there. Doesn't quite connect to Amumu because he does Q on to the Set. They're going to be battling in. They're going in. Nice ulti from Misfortune. But here goes Amumu. He's going into the backline. He's going to be tanked out. Alawi has a nice ultimate down. Rock going into the backline. He's going down to Lux. Lux does pick him up. That is going to be a huge win on the side of... Oh, wait, but there's more. Wait, there's more. Wait, there's more. The Alawi comes in for a massive shutdown. She does get close to the Bears, does go to the range champion, gets the double kill onto the Yumi as well. They might be just like looking to say, Fizz, don't come in. We're going to be taking the dragon. Leave us alone. If you come in, we're taking out your life.
And this dragon's going to put them at soul point for the side of Team
Oh,
Tempest.
they land the Lux Q. This is going to be a dead fishy. No. Oh, there goes the auto attack. Does take down the fish. And here goes the dragon as well. Incredible team fight. A lot of back and forth, front to back team comps here. And you see just the power from Team Tempest going into the just focusing down, chipping down the front line, and then eventually reaching that back line. The Rock from the side of Players Anonymous did get into the back line, but the damage was too hard. They were able to really just kite him down, CC him down, and just mine him away rather, to nothing.
Absolutely. So yeah, one of the important things to look at in that team fight is that went about as well as you can hope to go for Players Anonymous right now. We saw the Alawi actually whiff her entire ulti. She hit no one with the extra AoE and just got the buff to it. Just got the extra damage, but got none of the extra tentacles. And despite that, the Alawi's still immune to damage. She's just sitting there getting hit by every CC effect. That fight opened up with a Varus ulti onto the Alawi, and then they just couldn't do any damage to her. Nothing came down on her. There's no consistent damage to burn her down, and the burst isn't going to be enough anymore. With this Spirit Visage, Thorn Mail, and all of the tanky stats coming out of the rest of her items.
There's an ultimate going down onto the Amumu. They are going to be sitting on top of the Thresh Lantern, so Fish cannot get away. They're going to CC him down, lock him down. There goes Amumu. Very well played on the side of Players Anonymous, knowing that they can't get him out. They do send Alawi into the side lane, really punishing the Varus and trying to get that extra money from the turrets here.
Yeah, and you see the Malphite's just actually too big. He is a literal mountain.
Whoa, here it goes, Alawi. She's going in. She's not able to really pick them up, but she's so tanky. She should care less about this turret. But here comes Fizz. Here comes Set. And then they're going to be engaging. There's the Thresh Lantern to save Alawi. Very well placed. And a quick save, quick response from the side of Team Tempest.
Yeah, I thought that Alawi was right off, but the Thresh comes in with a great lantern, brings her out, brings her to safety, protects that bounty on her as well. And that you just see the amount of confidence on this Alawi play right now coming out of Phoenix. The diving into the Varus Yumi under turret.
Flash in from Set with a nice E into a Thresh hook. More Misfortune is just going to keep auto-attacking, taking down Set himself, and they're going to be pushing down mid lane because of it.
Yeah, absolutely, and more over-aggression coming out, just not respecting the Alawi TP. She comes in behind you, gets what you need, your teammate's not there to follow up in the first place. Just looking to find picks because they know they can't win these team fights anymore.
Nice Q into the Lux ulti. They do exhaust Alawi. There goes Amumu. He's going on to the front line of the Rock. The Thresh does go in, does get his ultimate off here, and they're going to keep pressuring. They're going to try and crack open the base.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be able to do it yet with the Varus coming back and the Set respawning, but it's smothering trying to play against this Alawi. You see her just pull someone's soul out behind the turret, start hitting it. The turret will hit her the entire time, and she just doesn't care. She's sitting there tanking the turret for her team while getting extra damage down, while hitting a clone, and and she could go in. She could do more. It doesn't matter. Like, these are good scenarios where this Alawi is being really over-aggressive or not being in the middle of the team fight.
Here's a fight into the Lux binding into the Thresh Q, into the Lux ult. That Amumu is still kicking, going hard. They're going to be trying to find more. They are going to be taking out the Amumu in the side of set. Jungler for jungler. No one's getting this next major objective with a jungler right now, but we do see Dragon coming up, and that could be huge on the side of Players Anonymous if they give this up, because Alawi, you thought she did damage before, she'll do definitely more damage with an Infernal Soul.
Yeah, absolutely. In the Infernal Soul point spawning in 35 seconds for the side of Team Tempest. And I don't know what sort of fight you really want to look for if you're on the side of Players Anonymous. You're looking to get in there, you're looking to get a pick, maybe you're going to fight around the Alawi, but that's going to be so difficult. Again, we see Poke Varus, very little consistent damage coming out of that. No way to actually burst down this Alawi anymore now that she's got armor and the Varus is still lacking his Lord Dominic's or his Mortal Reminder. It's going to be so hard to kill her. And then for the rest of the team, maybe you can find the damage onto the backline, but how do you kill the Alawi even if everyone else is dead? You need to be like 4 or 5 versus 1, but the Varus goes in too deep.
Oh, Varus does cleanse himself with the Yuumi heal, with that extra movement speed. He is going to get out of there. There is Thresh, there's Amumu. They are best friends, hooking nice Qs on both of them. Once one lands a Q, the other one's definitely landing.
Yeah, absolutely. Setting each other up for success.
Oh, here goes the Amumu Q. He does go over the wall onto the Malphite, but gets saved back by Thresh. Good communication on the side of Team Tempest, knowing that his team isn't there. But here goes Set. Set's going to be ulting in with the Amumu. Huge damage coming out. There goes the Varus. There goes the Yuumi ultimate. Yuumi almost completely healing Varus back up from Lux's utter burst from her ultimate. Wow, that was a big Yuumi heal there. They are going to be looking onto Misfortune. They might pick her up. No, she is back safe. No, she's not. The backline's being flanked by the Fishy. Here goes Fizz. He does pick up Misfortune. Now, they just got to protect the Varus. They're going to be fighting the Alawi. Alawi coming in huge with a 3-man ultimate. Fizz is still on the backline. Takes out the Lux. Here goes Alawi. Is she able to 3v1? Is she able just to take all of these members out? There's Thresh. Her friend's back. Does take out the Varus. I'm sorry, that was a 4v1. Yuumi's on someone. Now it's a 4. Wow, this fight's just going off. The Thresh is just hitting Q, is hitting the W, giving that Alawi extra shielding, is giving Alawi that nice E, going in to protect her some more. They are going to keep fighting with a nice slow with the Alawi proc there. She does land E one more time.
And he's slowed again. The Alawi's running out of mana, but she picked up a blue buff from the Fizz in the middle of that fight. And it does look like they're going to get away. The Set has Smite up, but the Amumu's respawned. He's actually in the Dragon Pit right now.
They're back. Alawi was waiting for him. Ulti in from Set, but here goes the Alawi getting that nice double kill. This Titan is huge. There is no stopping this Alawi this game.
Yeah, and that's 2 Yuumi ults, 2 Set ults, and 2 Alawi ults in this team fight. It's just gone on for so long, but that's Infernal Soul being picked up for Team Tempest. And if you're not winning that fight from the side of Players Anonymous, I don't know what fight you're winning. The Fizz gets into the backline, solo kills the MF, and solo kills the Lux. The Lux combos don't do anything. They all get full healed up by the Yuumi by the time it's relevant. The Alawi gets kited out nearly perfectly. No one gets chunked out by her. The Set takes a little bit of damage, but shields it all back anyways with his aiming.
Nice Q from Amumu! Whoa, 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 whoa!
That Boris is having a bad day. Holy cow, that Amumu.
Wow!
Amumu
you don't see that every day. He traveled all the way to Krugs there.
That's Mr.
Whoa!
Yeah. Yeah, so Amumu Q actually tracks you to where you are at the end of it. So the Var is jumping over the wall with the Blast Plant while the Amumu Q hits him, brings him all the way over to Krug Pit. gets the kill. Great play coming out from both sides there, actually.
There goes Set. He's gonna try and steal it, but
Can't
the Smite doesn't quite land there. There goes Set. He's gonna be ulting the Amumu back out of the pit, but Thresh was waiting for him. Really there to punch him down. The Lowy is just going off on a 3v1 underneath the turret all by herself.
Yeah, and this Alawi's just, what are you gonna do? They're looking to kill her now with the CC coming back in, but Lantern's gonna be here.
There's the Lantern. Thresh with another great Lantern. People read the Thresh handbook. It says take Lantern. They follow up. Thresh with another great Q into an ultimate, slowing that Malphite down. They do crack open the mid lane turret there. They are going in for this inhibitor. Great damage coming down. There's a TP. There's an Alawi. There's your Titan. There goes Fizz. They're going for more. They might be looking for game here.
Yeah,
Let's see what occurs. Let's see. They are going to be cracking more open. Amumu does fall to a nice Varus Q. Varus is chunked out by just some autos there and then has to go back to base, heal up, bringing his Amumu back into this fight. Alawi is massive. She does not care for turrets. The
she's looking at that Lantern and she doesn't care.
Take it, and she's out.
She doesn't care though. She could probably win that fight in the base there, 4 versus 1. So, all right. What can we do? What can we see Players Anonymous do from their side to win this game right now? We do see that it's about a 7k gold advantage. Infernal Soul is picked up for the side of Team Tempest. Baron's currently on them, but it should be falling off really soon. And Elder is spawning in 3 minutes. I think it starts with the Elder steal. I think you really do want to let Team Tempest start the Elder. If they get into that pit, you have a good chance to AoE them all down with maybe a big Fizz Fish combined with a Malphite ulti and a Set ulti, and then you can get some really nice AoE damage down to soften up all the squishies on the side of Team Tempest. At that point, we really need to see Set somehow steal the Elder, and then everyone needs to immediately turn onto this Alawi and flash out of her ulti before it hits them, and then go in one at a time, kiting her down. Probably give over 3 lives, kill her, get the shutdown on Varus, and then at that point in time, maybe they can just walk it in and end the game. But I don't know.
Malphite is going to be ulting out of this situation here. Malphite ult has a quick cooldown, but he's only level 15, so it's not a level 3 rock ulti yet. But they're going to be cracking open yet another turret on the top side, going in for that top inhibitor. And they do have that Baron buff with a huge minion wave. They are going to be fighting the Set. The Set's going in onto Thresh, going into a Amumu. They aren't going to be able to get anything off of this here. Misfortune does land a nice ultimate coming down. Fizz going onto Misfortune immediately, and then being punished because his team came back. There goes a Thresh hook. That is a beautiful flash Q into the for his enemy team there. There they go. There goes Alawi. Nice double ulti as well. Misfortune picks up that good double kill. There they go. They're going to keep fighting. They are just going to tank. Amumu was tanking turret both times here. Thresh going into onto Malphite, not able to thoroughly pick it up. Misfortune blowing off. Save the cat. The cat is in danger. The Rock is out of there. The Rock knows he can't fight. He's not able to stop the pure force of Team Tempest. They are going to take out the Rock, getting the ace down for Alawi, and they're going to be taking it home. GG Tempest.
Yeah, exactly. A great play coming out of Tempest there at the end, and just insurmountable advantage in that top lane. Coming down, crushing Players Anonymous, and just walking it into their base there and ending the game.
Very fun performance by both teams. It was neck and neck in the beginning, and then they just kept fighting. They kept at it. It was a high action game. They were going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But then Team Tempest came out strong in major objective fights, coming strong into huge team fights, knowing their front to back line team comp and coming in massive this game. It was very fun, very interesting. I'm super excited to see what they have to bring to the table next game. Hunter, your quick recap here and your MVP and ace of this game.
Absolutely. Well, I think the MVP is already pretty decided. I think everyone watching can agree that the MVP goes to Alawi this game. Great play, absolutely dominating performance, ending the game 19-3-10 with what I imagine is probably double the next amount of damage in this game. Absolutely crushing it. surviving these team fights, just winning them essentially 1 versus 5 most of the time. As far as Ace goes, it's hard to pick. I want to give it to the Fizz here or the Yuumi. Yuumi's not got much threat placed on in this team comp, and I don't think she requires too much outplay to play in these games. So I think I'm going to give it over to the Fizz. Constantly finding in some of these team fights, finding the backline, being able to kill the MF, being able to kill the Lux despite all the defensive itemization, giving his team the best chance he can. But it's really hard with this game because the set 2 early game had such a nice lead and was doing so well in team fights at the beginning. But then the Alawi just came online and shut him down too. But I'll throw it over to the Fizz for this game, but that's not for lack of other options.
Very fun game to watch. And when we come back here, we're gonna see round 2 of Team Tempest versus Players Anonymous. Hello and welcome back, folks. An incredible first game of the start of the match here versus Team Tempest and Players Anonymous. Fun game to watch. Hunter, can you give me before we go into the next match, can you give me a quick takeaway on what you might want to look for, what we might want to see, and who we should really be watching for next game?
Absolutely. So from the side of Players Anonymous, I'd really like to see them take away the Alawi from Phoenix. If you're gonna give the Alawi main the Alawi, you shouldn't be going top lane. And last game, they ganked top lane level 6, they gave her a double kill, they really let the snowball start happening. And you have to know that that's just what's gonna happen when you throw 2 tanks into the face of the level 6 Alawi. So either take it away or pick more ranged champions or pick more consistent damage or do something to counter this player's apparent best champion. And don't let them carry the game again. From the side of Team Tempest, I want to see probably a more impactful performance come out of mid and ADC. Admittedly, that game they didn't have much of an opportunity with the Alawi carrying everything and them being picked into what I would call losing matchups in both of their lanes. But you can do something about that. I'm imagining you were first picking Alawi, pick some counter picks for your solo lanes too while you're at it. Let them carry, let them be strong.
Very interesting. And we're gonna just quickly jump into round 2 of Team Tempest versus Players Anonymous. And when we see these matchups, Hunter, I want to see what you think and future predictions of this game.
Absolutely.
Hasagi!
Awesome, and as we get into this game, we see in the top lane, we have an Ornn versus Maokai matchup, and that is not an Alawi lane, sir. That is the opposite of an Alawi lane. nothing is going to happen top lane without ganks, and no one should go top lane in the first place because neither of those champions snowball. Really, really boring. Just, they're going to be trading all game, and nothing's ever going to come of it. And I'm going to, somehow, I'm sure I have cast or cursed that, and this Ornn or this Maokai's going to get a 20 kill advantage and build full AP. But we'll cover that when we get to it, when it does eventually happen. We see Set in the jungle versus Kayn on the other side. Set's going to have a really big advantage until Kayn transforms. But once Kayn transforms, he's just the better version of Set. I'm assuming the Kayn, since he has Conquer, he'll be going for Ross, he'll be going red form, lots of CC, lots of healing, and just really he's going to do a lot of what Set does in these team fights better. The exception to that is this Ornn is going to get ulted by Set in hopefully every team fight, ruin the front to back, maybe even interrupt the Ornn ult while he's at it, and do massive damage to this backline, and we're going to have to see how they'll be able to avoid that. But we have a level 1 fight going on.
You see something occurring here. Thresh is going to be trying to bully them out, but is going to actually just leave.
Meanwhile, behind them,
taking the Wraith.
Metal
Very
Gear Solid.
sneaky Kayn. Oh, he almost actually stole the red buff. Not quite there, though. The Set actually noticing and seeing the Kayn coming over the wall and has to smite his buff so Kayn doesn't steal it.
Metal Gear Kayn coming in there, just stealing the Raptors while everyone's walking around him. Put over the cardboard.
if we had an editor right now, I would just like want to see when Kayn come in, this Set has an exclamation mark going, whoa! And then has to smite down the buff before Metal Gear Kayn does come in and steals almost everything from his campsite.
Yeah, well, you must be seeing at least, it must at least be a hard game mode, because that Set's reaction time was on point. Alright, so going into the mid lane, we see Diana versus Ahri. And this is, I'd imagine this is a pretty winning lane for Ahri, just because Charm can interrupt the Diana dash, and really put a cork in what Diana's trying to do in these lanes. I don't know if Diana E will reset.
We do see a level 2 gank going topside actually onto the Ornn. He does level up during this fight, and First Blood goes over to Set. Very interesting and very fun to see level 2 ganks, because anything can happen, and it really changes the course of laning phase. And you do see Set going onto Kayn, but I feel like Kayn's just going to go over the wall, be safe. What just happened, bot lane? Oh, and Kayn gets collapsed on by the Diana. She does roam up, land a nice Q. I didn't see what happened, but someone got picked.
Yeah, someone's dead bot lane. I think they just get one shot by the Thresh Caitlyn trap combo. Upside in the top river there, we saw Kayn getting a little over greedy, looking to stack his passive a little bit, get some of his Ross form stacks off the Set, but the Set's like, I have red buff, sir. You don't have W. And I think his E actually was also on cooldown, and the Kayn's just like, oh, and then passes away.
Here we go again. And regank top. They're doubling down. They really are punishing this Ornn and are trying just to shut him down early. They do not want late game Ornn.
And this Set just hasn't even cleared his topside jungle yet, but he's been top lane twice, forced out Ornn's life and a flash on two separate occasions now. And this Ornn's, this isn't going to impact how this lane plays out, but it does put the Set really, really far ahead going into this early game here. 4 minutes down, we already have 3 kills. Diana's got a kill, which is going to be really annoying for Ahri. I still don't know whether or not she's going to be able to close onto the Ahri. It's really based on whether or not the Ahri can hit the charm on the approach, standing outside of the minion wave to prevent the Diana from being minion blocked when she goes for the charm on the dash in anyways. And really a skill matchup for the Ahri here. You're really gonna, Diana's gonna play this lane the same way regardless. She's gonna go in when she gets her Qs. She's gonna look for damage, gonna look for push, maybe even some roams. But the Ahri really, onus is on her to outplay it. Top lane, we're gonna keep seeing people hit minions and clear them. Really, wave state is the most important thing in this lane so that the Set can stop repeat ganking top. Did see Set reset. Not intentional there.
I'm gonna use that one later.
I hope not. The reset coming in for the junglers, though. Kane's picking up a longsword, set all the way to his Bomby Cinder already, looking really far ahead, gonna have a much improved clear speed thanks to that. In the mid lane, we see a 10 CS advantage developed by the Diana.
And
with
we
more
do
fighting
see
going on.
E going down on to the Zillion, and a nice combo from Caitlyn there. She does put a trap into the bush, which Zillion does walk into, and she does land that empowered auto attack down onto him. Kane is top side, Set is bot side, and both members of the each team, I think they're gonna react accordingly. Set and did. I'm not sure if people told them that Kane is in his top side jungle, and if he's going to go in for a counter invade, really just splitting the map horizontally. And here goes, wow, that was a really nice pick on to the Ahri with the EW combo. But down goes Set due to the aggro from tower. So that's a kill onto Ahri, which will help her out a little bit in this lane and really help her keep, try and keep gold differentials almost even.
Yeah, and just really leveraging the EXP advantage that the Diana got in the mid lane there. Hits level 6 first, goes into Diana, goes in on Ahri rather, 3 times consecutively with her E there, dashing in, dashes once, blows the Ahri charm, dashes twice, blows the Ahri flash, dashes 3 times, puts her in kill range for the Set. Set comes in, dives her under the turret, picks up the kill, dies in response though, but the Ahri
Nice
misses a lot of...
Q hook from the Thresh. Beautiful response time with Caitlyn into a nice Thresh Lantern there. This Thresh is playing very well during this laning phase. There's Set. I think Thresh is going to give up his life. He's going to say, run! Run, my dearest woman! Run away! Go to the Kane! It's safe there!
Yeah, exactly. But that's actually sort of debatable. This Kane's really weak right now, especially compared to this Set. And honestly, I'm really enjoying watching the Kane, though. His gank top lane reminded me very much of pre-rework Nunu ganks, where they'd walk into lane, they'd press Blood Boil on you, and then they'd take your EXP. And they'd call it a gank. This Kane walking into top lane smacks the Maokai around for what I imagine is about 100 damage, and the Maokai autos him back for double that.
Nice Ornn damage here. They are going to try and contest the dragon, but all the members of Players Anonymous are going to respond to this, except for Maokai. You do see Ornn actually roaming down for a potential fight into a nice Q over onto the Kane. There's Ahri. They're going to take out Ahri. Thresh landing a nice hook, but it's not enough. All members of Players Anonymous have shown up. There was a TP coming in from the Maokai and setting up ulti flat from Bars, trying to take out the Caitlyn into the Maokai ultimate, and he's gonna knock him back into the team, and Varus is gonna pick up the kill here, which is really useful into future endeavors bot lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Great combo there coming out. Varus flashing onto the trap, but he doesn't care. He knows he can get the ulti down onto Caitlyn. Slows her down long enough for the Maokai ulti to hit her. Into the Zillion double bomb, into the twisted advance combo, knocking her back, shutting her down, gets the kill over to the Varus, rewarding him for his good plays, and really helps equalize that lane. We see CS is now even in the bot lane, with a kill to the Varus and 2 assists going over to the Caitlyn. Itemization should be relatively even, but Caitlyn's got a lot of raw AD, so she's going to be really annoying for getting poked out. Kane continued trying to stack up his form change, looking to get into Ross. That was the point of the gank top lane. I don't want to make it look like I was criticizing it. It just looks really funny when Kane's gank just for passive stacks. We see mid lane, Diana's now 2-0, Ahri is 1-2. Really gonna be a problem for this Ahri. This Diana's got too much raw HP now for the Ahri to be able to affect her. And the only kills that the Ahri's really gonna be able to pick up in these team fights is gonna be onto this bot lane, onto this Varus, or onto the Zillion. But the Zillion's got ulti to help prevent that. And there should be some, maybe even defensive itemization coming out to help prevent that as well. So Ahri's just gonna have to play these team fights really, really slow. And play like a really just a bad control mage, really a half a control mage in these team fights unless she's finding random picks. Kane continues to farm his jungle, trying his best to stay healthy, but that can be pretty hard sometimes when you fall behind on Kane and when you have not transformed yet. Top lane continues to hit each other. We see a 15 CS advantage actually develop for the Ornn, which is nice seeing as it can be so hard to make any sort of difference in this top lane. That's maybe even just the boon of having grasp on the Ornn there, and that being much better.
Nice ulti coming down onto the Thresh, landing it onto Caitlyn, and then Caitlyn is going to be flashing away, but it's not enough. They are going to take her out. There's a Diana there for another cleanup. She does pick up the kill onto Thresh, and Barris does get the kill onto Caitlyn.
Yeah, and we see the Diana's...
And there's another gank top side here. We do see the Ornn ultimate coming out, does land the knockup onto Maokai. They do pick up the kill here, and are able to escape without being locked down underneath turret.
Yeah, and I really want to see when this transform comes out. We see Diana blowing another flash mid lane from the Ahri, and this is just brutal coming out of the mid laner from the side of... Oh, what's going on top?
He lives!
Oh, Kane gets away. Okay. All right, that would have been an execution anyway, so not the end of the world. But yeah, the aside of Players Anonymous is throwing me through a loop. We have it written as AP on our graphics. Sorry about that, guys. I'm like, wait, AP, what's their name again? Players Anonymous. Yeah, doing their best here. Diana's huge. That's huge. Varus is getting pretty far ahead now as well with the 2 kills on his end. And Zillion's just going to be here to press R and make sure that no one can die from the Kayn or the Ahri assassination. Thresh on the side of Team Tempest is doing a really good job getting some nice hooks, but it's just he doesn't have the damage from his teammates to follow up on it yet.
Now we do see Dragon, Cloud Drake actually spawning up again to in about 45 seconds, but we do see both teams posturing, waiting for another fight. I want to see where this Kane's gonna go next.
Yeah, and the King
heading really mid right
when
now.
He gets the transform too, right? He's looking for the Diana, but I think the Diana's just gonna kill people.
The Diana is pretty large, and the set's there to follow up, getting another kill on this set here, catching that Kayn. It was a good gank. I think it would be a good call for the Kayn to try and get a pick right before the Dragon there. But it wasn't enough because the set does roam and was conveniently there to help counter pressure with the Diana.
But that's just the thing. This Diana's so huge here, and you know that you're always going to lose mid 2v2. You'd be losing mid 2v2 even if the Diana had no kills. But now that the Diana's 3-0, the set's 4-1, you shouldn't be going mid lane looking for these fights if you don't know where set is. Opting into this 2v2 here is just going to keep the Kayn dying. It's going to keep the Ahri dying. She's going to keep falling behind. She can't even walk up to farm under her own turret because she knows Diana could dive her.
Nice Q from Thresh. He does go in and land a beautiful E as well. Zillion's going to be ulting himself. They heal the Thresh up, and they are going to be the end of that skirmish. But they do, in the middle of all of this, the set does grab Selly and immediately puts it mid lane, getting more turret plates for the Diana and possibly looking for another Dragon because they have to deal with this Shelly.
Yeah, and I don't want to see Team Tempest contest for this Dragon. It's too much. You know you scale really well. You have the Caitlyn, which is going to scale really well once you get to late game. You know you have the Ornn to give upgrades. You know the Kayn's still waiting on the Ross transformation. And you can take Dragons later. You don't have to take these fights now. You don't have to give more of an advantage over to the team that's already 3,500 gold ahead of you. And it's good that we didn't see the fight coming in. We see Kayn picking up his 3rd blue buff here, trying to get some gold, trying to catch up to this set. He's actually pretty far ahead in farm, but the set being 4-1 just makes him such a nuisance to fight. And just needs to get his transformation. I don't know, can we check his transformation status here?
I'm not sure if it's possible.
We can't check the transformation status from what I can tell on Spectator, which is a bit of a shame, but he needs to get out of this mid lane. We see Set and Zillion roaming, and
we do see another engage from the Diana going on to the Kayn. They do exhaust the Ahri and almost chunk her out of lane completely there as well. Thresh is coming up mid lane just to try and hold off the sheer force of Diana, sheer force of Zillion, sheer force of Set. They keep pushing, and it's really hard to stop the bleeding here. We do see some nice trades coming in from top lane. Ornn getting gradually more and more powerful, going in onto Maokai, but they a smacka, they a wacka, they a walkawaya.
Yeah, pretty much just that, right? In top lane, we do see the Ornn has completed a full item, and the Maokai hasn't yet. I wonder if he is sitting on quite a healthy amount of gold, and he might even be looking to just finish off the Sunfire when he backs. I'd like to see him pick up some magic resist so he stops getting chunked out so hard by the Ornn. But Ornn's sort of 50-50 on his damage profile, so it can be really hard to
Here
do that
comes
anyway.
Kayn again. I think this is going to be the Kayn that wants Ross right now. He did use ulti earlier, so it is down. Here comes the Diana. Here comes the Set. They're going to be punishing down this Ornn, and the kill goes over to Zillion.
Yeah, and just great tracking from the side of Players Anonymous. Coming out, always knowing where this Kayn is, always counter-ganking him, always following him around the map. He wants his stacks, he wants to hit these melee champions on the side of Players Anonymous, but it's just too much. He can't get in. Every time he does, he dies for it now. And they continue to pull farther and farther ahead in this gold advantage. Now up to, well, just with that turret going down, equalizes back down to 4K. But it is still that, a 4K advantage at 17 minutes, 2 dragons. We're on an Ocean Rift, so Ocean Soul is going to be absolutely monstrous if they can pick it up in the next, actually just 8 minutes at this point. And you really have to see the transformation come out. Well, we do, actually. Thankfully, we see the Ross transformation out. He is now a champion, but he still doesn't have his first core item in the Black Cleaver. Only has the Warrior enchant completed.
And there we go again. Set reactionary play with his smite, taking that scuttle away from Kayn. This reaction time from Set's almost just just highlight reel worthy. He immediately sees Kayn and smites whatever in front of him.
Alright, I don't know if my eyes just fessed up for that Ornn teleported a little bit. Doesn't matter much. There's a great
There's a flash E from Set, bringing in the Caitlyn to his team there. There's the Ornn ultimate, but he is stunned up by the Varus ultimate as well, so he's not able to proc the second coming of the... But we're going to see a really interesting team fight occur here. They're going to be fighting a 5-for-5 in the mid lane, trying to just crack open this turret or crack open bot lane turret. They are powerful right now. Players Anonymous are looking for those team fights. They are looking for those objectives, and they really just want to keep snowballing this lead that they've made for themselves.
Yeah, and exactly. And the dragon spawning in 1 minute's time is the best way for them to do that right now. Looking to take all of their raw power. The Diana's super ahead right now. 2 core items completed to Ahri's 1. Just an entire item ahead of this Ahri right now. And even though the Ahri is sitting on a little bit of gold, the Diana's actually sitting on more. That's a 3K advantage in the mid lane. Absolutely insurmountable right now for this Ahri. And looking to go for this dragon spawning now in 30 seconds, taking some pressure down bot lane, getting pressure around in the bot lane and the mid lane. Should be resetting, grabbing some vision. Zillion will be back pretty soon, just picking up some more wards from base. We did see Zillion even pick up the Mikhail's Crucible, so now the Ahri Charm or the Thresh Hook is just going to be negated instantly. And that's one of the forms of engage from Team Tempest down. It's going to be so hard for them to get anything done in this team fight here. I don't know if fighting this is going to be a good idea. They're down an entire item in the mid lane.
Here goes the Thresh Q onto Maokai, but doesn't want to engage there. There's a nice Ross into a huge engage on the side of Team Tempest here. We do see an Ornn ultimate coming out, landing a 3-man Ornn ultimate, getting those stacks onto Varus. They are on the back line right now, but it is not enough. They are going to keep chunking them down. They are going to keep fighting, and Players Anonymous come out huge in this team fight.
Absolutely.
Whoa,
we do
whoa,
see the
oh,
Kane
there's a
hiding
Kane.
over the wall.
There's a Kane, and he steals it.
it.
Sneaky Kane does it again. Oh my word, Metal Gear Kane coming in. I'm going in, boss. I'm stealing this buff, and I'm gonna die for it, but I don't care because that was a huge... I really like the steal here because it does take them away from Soul Point on to Ocean, and
Absolutely,
it does give
but
them
now
that
it gives over this possibility for the Baron run. We do see that all of Players Anonymous going down over here, hitting up this Baron. They should be able to burn it down before anyone arrives. And I like what you're saying there. Like, it's a great idea to steal the Ocean Dragon away if you can. But the issue with that is now it gives them a 100% on this Baron, instead of what there was maybe a 60-40 at best onto the Ocean Dragon there. And if that play failed, they still would have got Baron. They still would have given over Soul Point. It's not like it was 100% here, and just really great follow-up coming out of Players Anonymous there, going over to the Baron, pinging it up, knowing that they can take it, knowing that it's just 5v0 on the map. And that's what these team fights are going to look like here. It's this Diana so far ahead. She's dumpstering these team fights so hard. There's nothing you can do if you're a carry on the side of Team Tempest here. And it's not even the carry's fault. They are not mispositioning per se. They're not making mechanical mistakes. The Diana's just 7-4 with 3 completed items now. She has brown bags. She hasn't had time to upgrade her boots. She's been so busy getting full items every time she backs. And what are you going to do? You're going to walk into the Diana, you're going to look at her, and you're going to get dashed on. It doesn't matter if she hits her Q at this point, because you're not going to be able to escape her if she times her ulti correctly. And God forbid you do get hit by that Q, you're just going to die instantly. It's also a 2-level advantage for the Diana in the mid lane. Varus is doing really well. Actually, both the AD carries on these teams doing really well with keeping up with solo laners and levels, which isn't something you see very often after the EXP nerfs in the bot lane. Maybe due to the supports roaming a little bit more, but even Zilean's doing really well on EXP. And that's probably part of the reason his team is ahead in EXP as well. Zilean giving over some of his, boosting his own EXP while he's at it. Level 11 for Zilean, ulti rank 2 coming out is really important for him. More healing, more cooldown reduction on it. Can be a real big deal for him. But it's just going to be really...
Oh, they see them. Ornn is going into the bush there. Does get the knockup onto Diana. Trying to catch that pick. They do get the Ornn ulti onto Diana. Getting a huge shutdown for Kane. And they're going to be going on to set as well. This is going to be a really nice pickup. Now,
yeah, and the shutdown going down onto the Kane there.
There's Kane ulting over, trying to get Varus. Does land a knockup onto Set. Set does stopwatch. Here comes Ornn. Ornn is going to be a 3-man knockup. Beautiful play by Ornn. And there is a Caitlyn in there just chunking down the Maokai. Maokai is going to keep fighting. He is pretty tanky. He is going to just keep going at him. They do pick up the kill onto Thresh there from the Varus. Yeah, Maokai jumped in on that backline there, and he was basically just doing what Maokai does best, being a nuisance, going in there and just like just CCing, locking them down, making sure that their backlines are able to get to and chunk down the front line.
But that's really important for the side of Team Tempest there. That's 2 shutdowns going down, 1 onto the Kane, which is really important, 1,000 gold over to him, and then 700 over on the Set shutdown to Caitlyn there. It's really, really big for them to be able to get back into this game with Ocean Dragon spawning in a minute. They can afford to give this over thanks to the earlier steal, and they can keep scaling. Ornn itemizations coming in. He now has his Forge Fire cape. And just, it's got to be so... There was a really big misplay in that fight that we may have missed. It's the fact that Diana, when she got caught, she got Zilean ulted. She was fine, and then she popped her Zhonya's. And then she popped her shield, and she didn't die until after the Zilean ulti wore off. And it's just
Now we see a nice play onto the Thresh there, and Set actually ulting in to dodge the Thresh Q. Diana is onto Thresh in the backline. There is an Ahri, there is a Caitlyn. They're chunking down the Diana. They do take down Thresh in the front line here. There we see Ornn trying to fight through all this power, all this wave here. Varus does pick up a kill, and so does Caitlyn. Caitlyn going down, landing an ultimate on the Set here, and now we see a 3-for-2 exchange. Caitlyn and Ahri up for the side of Team Tempest, and Set, Varus, and Zillion up for the side of Players Anonymous. And so one of them has a smite, and they do take the dragon pretty cleanly here. They are going to leave.
Yeah, so they will pick up third dragon for the side of Players Anonymous. They are on Ocean Soul Point now, so 5 minutes more, and then they'll have a chance to essentially win the game when they pick that up. They already have the 8k gold advantage, 8.5 even at this point. But that's not the end of the game yet. We see the Diana actually making another pretty large error in this team fight, just throwing her life away to get the kill on the Thresh, getting chain CC'd by the hook, by the knock-up, by the charm, coming in from the side of Team Tempest. And once Diana's dead, it's actually really winnable in these team fights. Caitlyn's got her itemization finished. She has a Phantom Dancer, so she's harder to kill, coming out of the side of the Diana. And Ahri's starting to do some damage in these team fights, and when she's not doing damage, she's getting OKCC off or blowing cooldowns by distracting people with her ulti, which is the most she can really hope for when you're this far behind. And even Kayn, even though he's 1-6, he's a Kayn, he's transformed, he's got his core itemization done, and he's just being really chunky and really, really obnoxious to kill between his ulti and his, what must be like a 2-second cooldown Q at this point. It definitely looks
Kayn
like
getting pretty chunked out there by the Zillion and other members of Players Anonymous. Really just chunking them down, trying to see if they can catch his bait here. This should be interesting. I want to see how they're going to react to this. Now, Varus does land a nice ultimate onto Kayn. They blow up Kayn. Here comes the Ornn ultimate, landing it down onto the Diana, but I don't think he has the team to follow up, really. They are trying to do as much damage as possible. They are trying to fight away the Set, but they got Set on their face. Set is going in, takes out the Caitlyn, and Varus takes out the Ornn in the front lines. Beautiful play by Players Anonymous, baiting out the Kayn, trying to see who's gonna pop up first, who's gonna go in and check out this Baron, and now they're gonna be cracking open the base.
great spot there from the Varus there, getting the ulti onto the Kayn, then great CC layering after it from the side of Players Anonymous, stacking all of their CC on the Kayn, blows them up instantly, and then Ornn's left on the side. Once Ornn falls, Caitlyn too is left without protection, falls herself. That's a 3-for-0 on the fight. They're looking to turn back onto this Baron while they still have an advantage on the map. It is 5 versus 5, but it's going to take some time for Team Tempest to walk over there with an inhib down as well. Starting up the Baron, probably just looking for the pick on the first person to walk in, though, with the Ornn and the, the Maokai and the Diana sitting in the bush.
Yeah, we do see the Righteous Glory coming out from the Maokai, going in onto Kayn once more. They are going to pull out the Maokai ultimate, CCing the people on the backlines, trying to engage and trying to save the Kayn, but Kayn does fall here. We're going to see just a great performance, watching two people cover as they chunk down Baron, and they're going to be looking for a quick reset and potentially ending the game into another great team fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And just, really, it's just that. It's great tracking. It's a great job punishing this Kayn for all of Kayn's weaknesses, making sure that he doesn't get his work done. We see the Ocean Dragon spawning in a minute 20 seconds. I don't think there's going to be an opportunity for Team Tempest to fight around it. They'll try and make one the best they can, but I don't really think it'll work out. Ahri still hasn't completed a second item. Diana's working on her 5th. And it's just, it's a disaster at this point for the side of Team Tempest. They're going to have to find a miracle here. Even if that miracle is only a smite steal, they're still 12k gold down. The next dragon will be there. And I don't really think Players Anonymous need the Ocean Soul to close out this game. Their team fighting is just going to be stronger at this point, at least until the side of Team Tempest starts picking up 3 or 4 items apiece. If there is one saving grace, it's that Ornn itemization that started coming in.
Oh, nice Varus ulti into a quick double Q from Zilean, really locking down the Kayn here. He does get out from a nice fresh Lantern. Ahri has to flash away. She's really low. Sniped down by Varus. And now they're going in harder. They're going to be going on to Caitlyn. Maokai tanks the turret. He's going in. Sets ulting down onto Ornn. Massive damage onto Kayn here. Ornn ulti going out, trying to chip away from them. A beautiful 4-man knock up there. They're going to keep going. They got a fork going down onto the Ornn. Down goes Ornn. They're looking to end the game here. They're going on to Thresh. There's going to be minions storming the base. Diana's looking for that pick onto Thresh. Does Zhonya's to stop the turret aggro onto her. They're going to be taking the first turret. They're going to take the second turret. They're going to be taking your Nexus. GG. Players Anonymous takes the victory here. Well played.
Yeah, and just an absolute steamroll from the side of Players Anonymous there. Using the advantage they got in mid-jungle, just continuing to punish this Kayn, track him everywhere on the map, never let him get a free gank off, never let him get his transform, never let him get his stacks for free, and just punish him straight through this entire game. The Kayn finishing 1-9, whereas the Sett and Diana just 8-2, 9-2 apiece. Massive amounts of assists coming out from them as well, and a great game coming out of the Varus from Players Anonymous as well.
Very well said. Very fun game to watch. Both teams, once again, we saw another game going on, and it really came down to team fights this game. Really came down on who came on top for those major objectives. And we saw here that Players Anonymous came up strong, came to play, and helped shut down Team Tempest. Very fun game to watch. Hunter, your thoughts on MVP and ace of this game?
Absolutely. So for MVP, I want to give it to whoever was tracking the jungler. So I'm going to assume that was the Sett. I'm going to assume that was the jungler without any given knowledge on who tracks on either team. But whoever was tracking the Kayn on the side of Players Anonymous definitely deserves this MVP. That is definitely what won them this game. And despite player play, really. Like, players played really well with the advantage they got off of that, but they would never have got that advantage without knowing where this Kayn is at all points in time. As far as ace goes, I'm sort of torn between giving it to the Thresh or the Ornn. Now, Ornn did his best with the advantage, with being put behind early game by the Sett ganks, and still managed to pull out quite a handsome CS advantage. Top lane, played his champion well, he hit some nice ultis, and just you can't do too much on Ornn when your carries are that far behind. But the Thresh also, great lanterns, nice hooks throughout this whole game, so I think I'm going to give it to Thresh just because there was more playmaking potential on that champion, which gave them a better opportunity to look good, but it's certainly close.
Very well said here. And Hunter, what would you say about the series as a whole, and what can we see more from these teams?
The Sett jungle looked really good in both of these games. It got really ahead even in the first game, and just really suffered from the fact that the Alawi got so far ahead. The Sett in team fights has looked really good. It's looked really obnoxious to play tanks into it, and really obnoxious for the mid-jungle 2v2 in both of these games. Both bot laners, we saw the difference between DPS Varus and Poke Varus. I know I keep harping on it. Poke Varus can definitely be good in team fights. It can definitely be good in certain team comps, but it's much harder to execute as a team than it is to just play normal attack speed Varus or a traditional AD carry in general, because you just can't take team fights with it at most points in the game. And I don't think a lot of the teams I've seen pull out the Poke Varus have really done the most with it. I think they could do well with combining it with champions like Zoe or more poke and peel oriented supports. But without that, I'm happy to see the DPS Varus come out. I'm happy to see him do well. I'm happy to see just a general good play from both teams, and lots of outplays deciding these games on both sides.
Very well said, and I couldn't agree more. When we come back from our quick break here, we're going to be going into the Freljord division between two teams here, Credible Hulk and Friends and SEAL Team 6.